Hello folks, welcome back to the channel. Today's video is the last in the human comedy series for update 1.25. With that, we're going to do this one slightly differently. I'd set myself the challenge of doing all of these races with live commentary in the hit as we do it, and trying to do it as quickly, not necessarily as quickly, but with as little preparation, as little practice as possible, selecting a new car. And for this at the Redbull Ring I'm selecting a new car, one we've not driven in this series before. We're going to use the RSR 911, and with that I pretty much know how the race is going to go. We're going to have rain for the last two sections of the last two pit stop sectors, so we're going to get 30 minutes of good weather, and then we're going to get 30 minutes of absolutely trash weather. And as I've done this so far, I've run softs, I've run mediums, I've got to the rain, I've been alright with the rain, I've been quite controlled as we go through the first series of rain. Then I've pitted and just made the total wrong choice on tyres. I've pitted and not changed tyres. I've pitted and chosen the wrong tyres and crashed on the way out of the pits in lead by 40 seconds and then blown it completely. So I do know the frustration you guys feel when you're doing these races and you can't do them, because the same happens to me. But with that, we're going to get on with the race. We'll give you the setup and then we'll give you the race. But the commentary might not be 100% pucker, but I hope you understand. But with that, we'll go into the setup and find out where we are. See you soon. Hello folks, and here we are as said in the human comedy. We're going to do the last one of the series, which is the Redbull Ring. We've just had a pre-introduction there from myself a few minutes after the race. Well, before the race in fact, but after the last one I did and tried. But with that, here we are at the race. The race is a 60-minute format. We start 15th out of 20 on the grid. Fuel consumption tyre wear at ×5, so it's pretty similar to what we've raced already. Tyres are racing variants and the intermediates and wet, category GR3. Wide body prohibited, nitrous prohibited. There's your credits. It's a GR3 field. That's what we're going to race. Car settings. We are choosing to run the Porsche 911 RSR 17, and we're going to start the race on softs. Settings pretty much default out the can. We don't change anything. Everything is as it comes as standard. There's maybe more you can do for your own personal choice. You can play with that fully customizable suspension and make it drive how you want. I believe that differential you can make adjustments, but the BOP's going to be in force, and you're going to be limited to 509 brake horsepower with this car. You can pick any one of the cars. I think they're all pretty equal. You've got the chance to give this race a good going and running. And with that folks, we'll see you at the track. Folks, arriving at the track. We are here to show you the settings. Those settings will be assist, traction control 1, default OBS, everything else the same. I would run through the starting grid with you, but I'm going to save that to the end. We're actually on 36 laps before we start this race, and ultimately this for me hardest race there is out there. I've said that before a couple of times. Of this series, this one's the biggest challenge, and I found this to be incredibly frustrating. So as the case is, thank you very much folks, and let's take it to the track. We'll see you there. So here we are folks, crossing the line, 1 hour, and with this we're going to do what we do in the previous races. We're going to give it a couple of laps to settle in. As you know from my introduction, I've done this a number of times and I'm finding it quite frustrating to get anywhere near it finished. I've been pit manoeuvred, I've messed it up myself. I have genuinely blown it myself a number of times. But with that, we're going to get our eyes down, we're going to focus. That sun is blinding off the back of that car. Here we go. We're making good progress here.
going wheel to wheel with Mr. Yamanaka, and he's the problem. He has been my problem. He has rammed me off the track, he's T-boned me, he's done all sorts. We are going to introduce him to the gravel trap. He doesn't quite make it, but we are going to progress. So we've got a number of objectives today. A, win the race. B, improve our personal lap time. Number of laps, sorry. We want to have the fastest lap of the race. We also want to lap the field, every car, but we also want to get the weather right. And with that, guys, if you look to the sky as you start this race, you'll notice it is beautifully clear. It's a lovely sunny day. He's gone outside the pits, outside the boundary, so he should get a I'm going up the middle. He should get a penalty quite clearly. We squeezed up the middle there with a bit of rubbish racing. And with that, we're up to 7th place. That's pretty good. So we know it's going to rain. We 100% don't know when it's going to rain because we don't know what variation of the race there is. If there are multiple variations of this race, I've found in others that there are, but as yet we don't 100% know what the deal's going to be. We're just going to bank on the fact that we're on softs. We're going to run this pretty hard. We're going to try and get to first place before the first pit stop, so within the first 10 laps. We're going to run softs 10 laps. I've tried 9 laps, but I think 10 laps is where it's going to be, because it will give us a better standing at the end of the second stint for changing the tyres. And I think we're going to go full wets when we change the tyres, regardless of whether it's raining or not. We're going to use... Oh, I've just been pushed a little bit wide there by Mr. Miyazano in 5th. Next time round we're going to talk you around and talk braking points. But let's just see if we can get a good pass on Mr. Miyazano. Lap times, we want to be consistent 130s, but I think I might have just cooked our goose there by that little slide. Let's see if we can catch Mr. Fragger before the start finish line, and then we'll talk our way through a quick lap. Overslowed the car there on the apex, should have just let it roll a bit. Catch Mr. Fragger up the hill by the looks of it before the penalty point. Oh, and I've had so many penalties here as well, it's unreal. I'm going to try and get him up the inside before braking on the 50. There we go. Bit of a slide mid-corner. So here we go then, nice little flying lap. This will be slower, this will be a 131 or maybe a 2. A 131.2, so happy days. Here we go, we're going to brake on the 100, going to try and put all the tyres on that red and white. Second gear at the apex, fully flat on the floor, don't straight over the yellow line. Up into third gear, 4th, looking for 5th. And will we hit 6th gear and braking again on the 100. We're going to stay in 5th, we're going to brake on the 100. 2 wheels onto the red and white, try and clip the apex in first, get the foot down, apply the power, don't stray over the yellow line. Mr. Lopez, he's going to drag us along this straight. We should be just inside him at half a second, just inside his draft. Braking on the 100. See if we can just lag off the brake pedal and get him on the inside. Just lean on him a little bit, push him wide. Use him to help us get around the corner with lots of throttle. Then we're going to brake on the 50. Second gear to the apex, hold the throttle. Apply the throttle and get it down, get out that corner. You put all the wheels over there into third gear. We go purple sector by 0.8 of a second, which is great. 4th gear on those curbs. Don't run out too wide, but you can use that curb on the left. You'll look to brake on the 50, but not overrun the corner. 2 wheels in the grass really gets a fast apex. Down to this corner, down to 3rd, down to 2nd, back up to 3rd to accelerate out. Probably don't need to use 2nd on the apex, but I just did to check the car. And there we go, 1:29.761. Not the fastest, but we will. That is the fastest lap of the race, but not the fastest we're capable of. We can do better than that. This NSX is really quick later in the race, Mr. Gallo, and we're attempting to get 2nd place here. He might try and run us hard at this braking point on the 100. We can use him to bolster our throttle. There we go, just push him over the yellow line and just upsettle him. That's the way. So we're 15 seconds behind, 14.2 seconds behind Mr. Beauvoir. Race is going to plan like it normally does at the start of this. It can all unravel as it happens, but using this car because of comments from a previous commenter on my threads, a subscriber said that this is the fastest car, not necessarily this race, but very fast at Lego Maggiore. And I thought, if it's fast at Lego Maggiore, it'll be fast here, because this is a very corner-based circuit. Very little of it on the fast straight compared to corners. And Lego is all corners, really. It feels like it is. Down a 2nd, back up to 3rd. Use the curbs, run to the finish. Don't tend to rattle this car in the high revs because we want the fuel to last. As we get round this corner, we'll just have a look at the fuel and see where we are, trying to target 10 laps of fuel. So let's have a look. There we go, traction control is on 1 as we skip past it. We've got 5 laps done and we're on the 5th. That's beautiful. Absolutely prime for 10 laps. 10 laps is the call. And the tyres look like we'll get 80% wear on the right rear, maybe left rear a bit more. Left hand tyres looking a bit heavier for wear, which is natural because most of the corners are right handers, so those left handers will take the weight. Let's see how we go on laps. The fuel weight is getting less as we go, so I know the tyres are burning off a bit, but we should be able to keep the speed going. We're half a second up, purple sector there, whether that's just this middle sector. Let's see where we go. If we can take half a second off, that'll be a low 1:29, which would be good for this point of the race. Nice and smooth. Let's not try and outbrake ourselves, slide too much. Let's just try and keep it all in a rhythm. This race lasts so long. Another fastest lap of the race, just gradually improving it. We can mess this race up big time with just the wrong decision, the wrong button press. We're only 10.5 seconds now behind Mr. Beauvoir. He is making progress. We've got to really try and reel him in over these. We need 2 seconds a lap out of him over these. We need more than that if we're going to catch him. Let's look to the sky. You can start to see a single cloud appearing on the right hand side there, which is ominous because it is genuinely a lovely day up in these Austrian Alps. It's a beautiful part of the world. If you've ever been, you'll know it can rain like an absolute swine. I had the pleasure of being here in 2008 for the European football. We travelled around and did a tour of Europe in my little car and really enjoyed Austria and Switzerland. It was a beautiful part of the world, and it means a lot to us, this part of the world, in terms of where we've been on holiday and the times we've had good fun. But with that, we've taken another 2 seconds out of him and we've put almost a 1:28 in, so that's good going. In into second a little early, let the back end go. Ooh. We've got visual distance on him now, we can see him on the straight. We're eating into him. 3 laps to go, tyres are looking a-okay. Let's not rag them though, let's just do this, keep it all within our capabilities and abilities. It would be nice to be able to just give this fella a bit of pressure, if we can get there. Braking on the 50. Second gear into the apex. Let's get the throttle on and let's run it hard. Let's try and equal the wear up. Third gear around this corner. Power down early. The traction control just holds us back there, but I'd rather have the traction control than spin it off into the grass, which would be my normal thing to do. We could probably borrow a bit more on the left there. Going to keep it in third, run it faster. Yeah, second gear just check the car, makes it more stable, but if you go through there in third you're good. That was a 129.250, so we might be through the best of the tyres at this point, or it's down to that slide at the top of turn 2. He's down to 6.5 seconds. Did we take 2.5 seconds off him? We've only got 2 laps left of this stint. Purple first sector, that was a bit wide there. I looked up at the clock. Let's not have a penalty, we look to be okay. He actually took out a bit of time on us there. He's going to know we're coming, his pit wall will tell him. Start to push as well because he knows a pit stop's coming up. Well, depending on his strategy, of course. I've got a feeling he'll be running a similar sort of strategy. But hey ho, where are we on the lap time? Ooh, just losing a bit of traction on the entrance to the corner there. Doing good. Where is he? There, just gone underneath the bridge and accelerating away. So we got him to within 5 seconds. We're entering our final lap now before the pit stop, and everything is going to what we would define as the plan. Oh, and he's about to come up against a back marker. We are going to stop for softs again, and we are going to take a full whack of fuel. And we will just repeat this stint. Now if it rains, which once we get through this pit stop we will put the old rain gauge on and we'll start to look for the rain. But we will only pit on concerted rain. When I say concerted, I mean a lot of rain. Oh, and look at this, he's stuck behind a back marker. That's great for us. He's just got past him, past the Audi R8. Will the R8 move for us? Will he let us through? It looks like he will. We've got him there. So we've reeled him in. We're going into the pits now. We're only 1.5 seconds behind, and the car's just about turned to 100 miles. So you can see we've done a bit, and he's going in as well. So this is good timing. We've caught all the way up behind this fella. And there we go, we're in. We're taking soft tyres and we're going to fill all the way. We're 22 seconds ahead of the car in third place. He'd had 11% of fuel left and he was on mediums, so he wasn't pushing that hard. We're taking fuel, he's taking fuel, so it's pretty close. He's going to get out just a couple of seconds before us because he's going to fill up first. And we've dropped down to third place and we're away. And there he goes. So he's in our sights now. and we will just take a composed effort to get in behind us, and hopefully by pit number 2, which we will change the gauge to be the rain radar, by pit stop number 2 we aim to have him 30 seconds behind us. Would be what I would call position A. Those rear tyres have not yet warmed up. As you can see, we lost the back end through that apex. Maybe I was too tight through it, maybe I've got to widen the entry. Just got to get better, that's what I've got to do. Yeah, just run 2 tyres onto the grass, that's the way. Use as much as the track as possible. And he's gone away like great beans, but he's worked out, if his pit crew have said the same as I've said, he's used less fuel. So he can actually push harder. If he's still on mediums, which I'm guessing he is, he's not going to have as much corner speed as we can have. Let's see what does. So we're on the same fuel weight, we've got the same tyres, except we haven't done any out laps on them, so the wear's going to be the same. We had to go to second because he broke a lot earlier than we did. He just upset our rhythm. We've nerfed him, but we didn't get any damage, so we're good. Let's see if we can break on the 100 and just no. He's not gonna give us it easy. Well, we can run in his slipstream and go faster. Happy for that. But we won't have the 30 seconds on him by the next pit stop, will we? Just got to watch this because we'll be going a bit faster than him, and he braked very early through that apex. Power down, and we're going to make the run. So he's given up there. He hasn't, he's still coming. But what I mean by he knows he's got to make those tyres last, because he's not going to be as competitive. We're on the soft, so if he starts to burn those mediums up, he's going to have to start to overdrive the car, use more fuel, etc. We can make more progress with him behind us. We know that. Just got to chase down these back markers now. Got to keep lapping them. Got to keep an eye on that bottom left corner and ensure that we're getting up in those 129s. We're starting to set some good laps. Don't want to cook these tyres too early. We want to get the most out of them. There's Mr. Gallo into the pits on 4% of fuel on mediums. So that wasn't a pitter that was in front of us. It might have been a lapper, it might have been a pitter. Nicely through there. So back into the 129s with a 506, which is great. And then we're just starting to eke out a lead, so we're almost up to 3 seconds as we make our way up to the back of the Corvette. And with that, we might, once we've finished this race tonight, we might venture for the rest of the week, or some of the week, into this week's lap time challenge. We stayed away from it last week whilst giving you guys a chance to get at it. We're at the Nürburgring this week. Any GR3 car, so these. And I guess you're wondering where I am with that, just while we talk about something else, while I excuse me, put some extra laps in. Didn't change down to third there, blew myself. There we go. Hopefully we've not lost sound with me knocking the mic off. Hopefully it's back. But with that, I've done a few laps of the Nürburgring in this car, and we've not got gold yet, I'll admit to that. It's quite tricky, but I have got traction control on at the minute. Oh, he just looked like he was moving off the line. It was actually just a tweak of the rear end. So with that, we're hurling it down after the 458, the most attractive looking car in the game, in my opinion. So 2 laps in the 129s. I'm I'm looking to the skies, chaps, and I can see clouds. No rain on the rain radar though. I've got the rain radar set to the longest distance possible, so we'll see it coming in. And let's have a quick chat about the stint meter, the rain water depth gauge on the left hand side. Do you all know what it means? If you don't, if you're new to this game, let me explain. So bottom left hand corner of the screen, we've got a clock that runs, basically tells us how many minutes we've consumed. We've consumed 21. And with that, next to it is the track rainwater depth. So you'll see it's got 4 horizontal lines, one right at the very bottom, that indicates 0 rain. Then we'll get a blue level of water that rises up to the first horizontal marker, and that's up to that point. Slicks racing tyres still have better traction than any other tyre. When you get above that, slicks are still good, but not as good, and the intermediates start to take control. When you get to the third horizontal line, which is the second one above the bottom, that line indicates that wets are the best tyre, intermediates are okay, and slicks are absolutely useless. So we know we're going to get a rare old bit of rain, a rare old amount of rain in this race, and with that we need to be aware that ultimately we need to make a choice between intermediates and wets. And for me, I think I'm going to take wets on the first stint. We might be shy of the amount of depth the first 3 or 4 laps, but it's going to get deep and the track's going to get patchy, and we'll give a bit of time away, but we'll not give away as much time as by running intermediates or slicks when the water gets well deep. We can choose to run offline when we've got the wets on, so overtaking, etc. There we are, we're 14 seconds ahead of Mr. Beauvoir. We are making short work of him, and I know I said I want to be 30 seconds ahead, and we didn't make any time on him for the first couple of laps, but we're now just racking it out there. What I want to do is build enough time to get a pit stop in, an extra pit stop, just in case we make a bad decision. Back end sliding into that corner. Track's starting to look hazy now. We've got more than just clouds, we've got a haze across the entire track. It's starting to feel grey. Mr. Calderon just gave you a little tap as we went past. Apologies, my friend, not intentional, I just oversped that. We were carrying a bit more speed than I thought. We missed that apex because we came hot into that corner. We rode those curbs beautifully up into 4th gear. Still no rain on the rainwater indicator, the weather indicator. Starting to feel really grey down here. Oh, 128.8. That's the kind of region we want to be in. Try and carry some speed through the apex. And here comes the rain, folks. There's nothing on the rain meter, nothing on the weather radar at all. We've just got rain. It's just splashing down. But it's just a scattered shower. But it tells us we've just got to start to be a little bit careful. And we're 7 laps into this stint. We're on the 7th lap. 17 more miles further on, Mr. Cookabun, who does like to give you a little bit of jostling. He likes to let you know he's there. He'll come back to you when you're on the apex and he'll just tap your wheel, as he just demonstrated. Here's the clouds coming in. Large from the south. Bottom of the screen. It feels to me like the weather radar is there. There it is. Change down too much. Is that just going to skirt past us? The weather radar was clearly on the wrong setting. That's just going to brush past us, that one, and then we've got the big rain coming in. We're just getting the periphery from that cloud. Now we have to be aware of what we're doing. We have to keep aware. We've got that big bank coming in from the right hand side. The rain radar there needed a tweak. It wasn't reading correctly. We're on lap 18. Can we get 2 more laps in, this one and the next one? Get into the pits and get onto the wets. We're going to take the heavy wets. I believe that's the right thing to do. There was rain here last time round. There's nothing here now. The car wants to slide. Lapping 8th place. 22 seconds ahead of Mr. Boudoir. Where's Mr. Robillard? He's down in 8th. That's who we've just overtook. So we're looking like we could just get into the pits just before that rain bank comes round again, and we could be straight onto wets just as that rain decides to dump. But let's see how we go. That last lap was a 1:31 almost, which is it's poor because that wipes out that 28. But we've definitely set the fastest lap of the race so far. And here we go onto the about to enter lap 19. So the question is, do we pit on this lap or do we go one more? I think the smart move is probably going to be to pit on the end of this lap on 19, some 26 seconds ahead. Look how fast it's coming in, look. We're going to get round 3/4 of the lap and it's going to start to dump it. Mr. Miazan, I'm going to be inside, my friend. I think if we try and push one more lap, we'll be mid-rain and we'll be in trouble. If we go, these tyres are good though. I don't think it's the good. I think we've got to go with our hunch. We're going to pit now. Pitting on 19. Going to go full wets. Here we go, full wets. We know what's coming. Give it all the refuel. And we're pitted before 30 minutes. So with pitting before 30 minutes, one more pit stop, double that, that's 38 laps. That's where we need to be. 38 laps. That would be awesome. Fueling up. Nobody else has pitted. We're some 32 seconds ahead. Now it's wiped out. It says we're on softs, we're on wets. My heart just bumpety bumped then. Here comes the rain. Now what we've got to watch out for is the acceleration here. Now we're on the wet, so we're alongside him. We're even. He's behind me. He's on slicks. Oh, he's just nudged me as well, the dirty swine. We're just easing off. I'm going to send him. I was going to send him round. I did send him round. Dirty, I know, but he deserved that. We're on the full wet, so we're going to just be a little bit cautious here as the rain comes down. You know what happens when rainwater hits hot tarmac when you've got rubber down? it just becomes ultra icy, ultra slidey, and you just have to work the car to find the grip. The normal racing line is not normally the best racing line to run in the wet. You need to find where the tarmac isn't quite full of the rubber, because once you get water rubber, the car doesn't like to grip. The tyres don't have the same adhesion. You have to find where the, oh, you see what I mean, there it is, that's what happens on that corner, so we've got to approach that differently. And that's a 2.0 out lap, which isn't brilliant. The car just overran there. I'm probably going to get a penalty for that. I did try and brake a bit more to try and stop the penalty, but it was an overshoot rather than anything else. No penalty, we're alright. Just going to ease off and brake it, not trying to lose the back end. The tyres won't wear, but everybody's gone in for their tyres. Mr. Beauvoir needs to pit as well, one would suggest, because the car's twitching all over the place. But I think we're on the right tyre. My guess, Mr. Beauvoir's gone in on intermediates. He's filled up with fuel. I'm on wets, these guys are on inters. Look at the rain gauge, bottom left hand corner. It's into that top section already. I'd like to think we've taken the right tyre at this point. Everybody's gone in for inters though. I think they're making a mistake. I think they need to be on the wets. Mr. Miazano's going in for his tyres. Yeah, it's very wet, that corner. And Mr. Lopez has taken wets now. Try and get around that corner without missing it. Ooh, yeah. Doing alright. This is not bad progress. 51 second heads lead over second place. He's pitted twice, or he's going to have to pit twice to take wets. Just being hyper cautious, lifting off the brake when the back end of the car feels like it's twitching. Trying not to over rev the car. Just keeping the traction. There's no tyre wear. Just going to try and brave the most of this heavy rain. It's torrential, so the car is definitely twitching as we change down each gear. We're going to try and let the car just short shift it as we go up through the gears. Mr. Fragger, what are you thinking? You thinking it's your line, sir? Yes, you're thinking it's your line. You keep it. Mr. Beauvoir's gone into the pits again. He's done one lap and he's taking wets. But we're ahead of those boys. Forearmed is forewarned. I got that wrong. Forewarned is forearmed. Not really got that last corner right, anywhere near in the wet, and we seem to be in the middle of the storm now. Lap 22 going into lap 23, got a 1 minute 13 lead, so it's only 15 seconds ahead of us as we pile through the apex and miss it completely. What we don't want is any unsightly accidents. We can still blow this, as we have done in previous races that I've deleted quite hurriedly in anger at my own stupidity for blowing the race. But there we go. Just going to change the fuel use. So we've got 7.7 laps left, so we can run these tyres as long as we want, really. And I overshot there, blew that into the gravel. What an absolute nerd. And and this is what happens, Mr. Yamanaka at the wrong point. That is the frustration of this race. I just braked half a second too late and I get T-boned by Yamanaka. What an absolute... Oh, but I'm good. We've got time on this, but the problem is winning the race is fine. The bit that I'm struggling with is setting that new penalty, that new record. But I keep blowing it from stupid mistakes, and it's incredibly hard to talk your way through this for an hour and concentrate and prevent the car doing the stupid things it does that I make it do. Come on, let's concentrate, let's get our head down, let's get on with it. But it's great. This is the kind of race that keeps me interested in the game. It is extremely frustrating, but I'm making it frustrating by doing this for you guys, and it's great fun. I hope you enjoy it. It should be entertaining. That's what it's all about. See if we can hit that apex without overrunning the corner. So just a minute ahead. Where are we with the rain? Just going to flick back to the rain gauge. The end of the rain is coming, so we're going to make these tyres last all the way to the next pit stop, and then we're going to change to, well, I'm hoping that the weather sort of gives us the chance to change down to inters for the last stint. Back end just wanting to make a twitch there. Got a couple of laps with a heavy rain, and then we'll be onto a drying track, and we can start to push the wets and start to use the wet areas of the track to cool the tyres and do that cool thing that you see the Formula 1 guys do as the dry line appears. Just start to dip the tyres in to cool them down, try and extend their life. Because I'm hoping the tyres are modelled pretty much the way that Formula 1 tyres are, on a big chunky block, and as it dries out the blocks start to move around more and they start to wear heavily, and if you run through a puddle it'll cool them down and they'll go back to being what they should be, but the grip won't be anywhere near as good, will it? We know that. Gone through the apex again. And that was me just braking marginally late. But there's Mr. Yamanaka, who's going to suffer the most horrendous fate. I think we've blown it running that 2-minute lap. That's 15 seconds we lost on trying to achieve 38 laps. It was like pit stopping. It was Mr. Fragger that T-boned me, not Yamanaka. I called that wrong. I apologise, Mr. Yamanaka. It's a similar looking car. Mr. Lopez in Zabima. So that's lapping 4th place. We should have been ahead of those guys. The end of the rain is just about upon us. Can't control the front of the car at this point. Notice there's absolutely zero wear on these tyres. They're still as good as they were coming out the pits. Try not to run on those curbs, that's a dangerous thing to do. Mr. Cookabun, who likes to give you a tap when you go past. He just says, hey, I'm here, don't ignore me. Look at them go to the wets. Just pull off the drying line to move over into the wet line, and that's the end of the rain, folks. I don't know whether that's it to the end of the race though. Will we get a splash before the end of the race though? That's the question. The track is drying, you can see it. It's clearing up very quickly. But we'll just see what these tyres react like. They are locking up initially. So Mr. Robillard on 72% fuel has gone in on wets. If he's taking inters now, he's banking on the track, drying out really quickly. But the track is, oh, in certain parts of the track, look, it is. What I want to do is, if I can pit for inters in the next 2 laps, if inters are the right tyre to take, looking at the circuit, we could get home on a 10-lap stint on inters. We're going to do 2 more laps and see where the world lies. We're going to let them all pit again, so they'll have pitted 4 times, we'll have pitted twice. Starting to get that line back, braking point and 100 is working. Look, everybody's in. Mr. Beauvoir is the only one. Somebody's gone for mediums. Mr. Gallows straight onto medium. He's taken a pitch. Oh my word. Hello, Mr. Hazel. Kinda gonna run around the outside of you. No, we're not. If we can get traction. Well, Mr. Lopez has gone for softs. Oh my, they're on for it, aren't they? They're going to be pretty slow out there. They're not going to enjoy that in slick tyres. I can't hold it in the corner in wets. And there's no wear on the wets. Mr. Beauvoir's gone to the pits again on 55% fuel. Is he going to inters or straight to a dry tyre? He's filling up. He's gone to medium, so he's skipped inters, gone straight to slicks. He's coming out the pit lane now. Got some trailing rain coming off the back of that cloud on the rain radar. And there he is going away up the track there. Mr. Robillard slowed down. Well, we got a penalty for that. We hardly ran over that, did we? But I think it's because we went early and we didn't really. No, we made effort, but this is just usual for this race. You get a penalty out of nowhere, but it's only half a second, and we've almost lapped him. He's in front of us, so we're pushing on. Even in the wets, we're into the 138s. Mr. Beauvoir struggling on those slicks. Push him off the racing line, he will really struggle. I think he just went in the gravel, forgive me for that cough then. And another car's gone off the racetrack there. So we are on the right tyre for what we're doing. There's 15 minutes left. There was the half-minute penalty, half-second penalty. Lap 28. So we could pit any time now, really, to take those inters. And the reason I want the inters is it's treacherous out there on slicks, absolutely treacherous. not go anywhere near that line there. Tyres are not wearing yet, but we're not doing the lap times we need to. 2 laps at this pace. And we've made up a pit stop, so oh my lord, see that? Just starting to get the wear on the rears now. They've gone red, so we're now going to stop on lap 29 just as we go on to 30. I don't know whether we stop and take the slicks. I did that last time and just completely blew the race. I want to take the inters in all fairness, because I don't know whether it's going to rain again. And we'll see how far we can go on inters. We're going to have the fuel, because we only need to get to lap 38. But I don't think we're going to make 38, so let's take the pits now. Somebody's left the circuit. We're into the pits now. We're going to take inters. We're just going to err on the side of caution. And we're going to fuel for 8 laps. Looks like they've got the right tyre. It always worries me when they show a slick. There we go, put the inters on. Fuel to 8 laps, which will take us to 30. I'm going to fuel for 9. I'm going to be a little bit cagey. 12 minutes left. 12 divided by 1.5 is 9. Is it? It's 8 and a bit. We'll see how we go. So Mr. Miazano's just come in. He's going to change off his inters and put a slick on. Just going to give that rain radar a tweak, just to make sure it's showing us what we need to see. Was better through that apex. Yeah, back onto the mediums, that young man. I don't mind giving up 15 seconds if we don't refuel for a set of slicks if the rain's gonna hold off, but if the rain comes back again, I'll be most unimpressed. But if it was just that rain stint, yeah, now slicks are the primary tyre. Looking at the rain gauge. Oh, they're knocking each other off the track, look. Just going to run into the wet. Look where the rain gauge is there. This is the tyre to be on. And that's what happens. I just got absolutely toe-nutted by Mr. Yamanaka, and I called him earlier wrongly. I'm gonna call him again, but this line quite correct. Mr. Portilla, where you going? Kawakami. Come on, boys, blue flags. Let's play fair here, come on, blue flags, get out of the way. Off the racing line, boys. Don't do it. And this is what happens. This is the frustrating part of this race. This has happened 5 or 6 times. In terms of, they just throw you off the track. And I know you guys have said it to me before, and I've said just put the game on hard. They just do not care. They're the dirtiest swines out there. But you've just got to steer clear of them, not really contend it. At this point in time, folks, I think we're on for just the win. I don't believe we're going to improve our record. I think we've lost far too much time through this race. We're 1 minute 26 ahead of Mr. Beauvoir. I would like to try and fully lap him again. We've only got 4 laps of the race. Oh no, we've probably got 6 laps of the race left with 8 minutes 42 to go. I think we've got enough in the way of fuel. I came off the circuit twice in that last lap, which is just the most frustrating. Mr. Wilkes come off his inters and he's going to dries. Looks like the sky's clearing up. Mr. Yamanaka. And that's my own fault. Mr. Salgado. He's just coming off his wets. Mr. Wilkes coming out the pits on slicks. My lord. My commentary's gone to pot, I'm afraid, but it's 3 laps is 450. I think we're only going to get the 36th lap in, because we've been lapping so poorly on lap time. Look, 2 minutes 146, the quickest to 137, which I've just done, 9 seconds slower than what we're capable of. But I just find this race so difficult, and I'm saying that, folks, so I know how you must feel. It's very difficult to get it clean and very difficult to put the pieces together and put that ultimate showcase together. Mr. Yamanaka, yes, I do not like your driving style. Tyres are just starting to show wear. Salgado back in the pits again. What's he doing? Why is he still on wets? Might be coming in for inters this time, or he was just driving through. We're not really making any inroads into Beauvoir. 135. Yamanaka, we're going to say thank you and leave you behind. He's slowed down immensely. I don't know whether he's run out of fuel or what. Whether he's blown his tyres. Came straight back at me there and overshot the corner. He was going to dive bomb me off, I'm sure of it. So 5 minutes 10. We might get a 37th lap in. It'd be good to show some willing. Sky's looking nice and clear. No rain on the rain radar. But there's a haze over there, look, which kinds of tell me rain could not. Rain is still in the air. These tyres are alright, inters. Only the rears are showing any sort of signs of wear. We're not pushing it though, we're not absolutely hammering it. fronts are now just picking up a tiny bit of wear. But I only wanted to do 3 pit stops. I think it was the right call. Soft, heavy wets, and then inters to take us to the end. 3 minutes 54 to go. If we can get that 37th lap, it's an improvement. I think we're a long way off lap 38. I think we might have needed to grasp our orbs and change to softs about 3 laps ago to try and gain 15 seconds over the last 7 or 8 laps. It would have been 6 laps, but if we could have done that, we probably would have secured it. But at this point we're going to go on to 36, and it looks like we're going to get 37, but not 38. So happy days, we're going to get the win. Mr. Beauvoir is coming back at us. He's just starting to put in laps faster than we can manage on these inters. We're going to see if these guys are going to give it up. Mr. Portilla, Mr. Solis, Mr. Calderon. I don't want to be butted, thank you guys. Thank you, sir. And we're on 36, just over 2 minutes left to run. No rain on the rain radar, so the tyres are just starting to squeal as we enter the corner. The rears are starting to look sore. So we'll achieve, by the looks of it, 3 of ours. We won't lap every car on the track, but we'll achieve 3 of the original targets. We're going to get the fastest lap at 1:28.8. We're going to win the race with what looks like 37 laps. We're on that 37th lap now, which is absolutely tip-top. How are we for fuel? We've got 2 laps left, so we overfueled by a couple, but we're always going to carry more fuel when you're coasting into corners, because you're not going to burn it right the way. Mr. Miazano's gone to the pits because he's looking like he's not going to get enough laps in. He just needs a splash and dash. Missed that apex, and the flag's only got 12 more seconds till it's thrown. And that's it, the time's gone now, so any car that comes through the finish line now will take the flag. Mr. Beauvoir has gone into the pits. I don't know what's going to happen there. He's taken the flag in the pits. Well, that's quite a bizarre situation, isn't it? And there it is, a new record. Well, folks, that was tremendously hard. Previous record, 36 laps. We've just put in the 37th. We've run the race and we got the fastest lap. And that brings about the end of the human comedy reruns for update 1.25. 1 minute 33 to complete the race. 1 hour 33. 1 hour 0 minutes 33 seconds to complete the race. Everybody else lapped. It's a top job. It's well done. Lap 16, we set the fastest lap. Everyone's a winner, baby. And as we just watched the start of the replay that we're going to skip through, we'll just switch to the ranking board and see where we are. We're third. We don't promote ourselves Buzz Alex or Iceman, but we do put ourselves in the 37 laps. So well done, folks. Thank you very much. And I really do appreciate the support you've given me through this short little series on updates, but we're going to progress on now, and we're going to do Le Mans as a rerun for 1.25. We're going to do Sardinia. We're going to come up with some interesting car choices, and we'll just see how you feel and where we go. But thank you very much, folks. We'll see you on the next one. Take care. All the best.